One thing I like to do on the channel is actually talk about Star Trek, and it's very easy to speculate on the Kurtzman stuff going on and the like, with all the new Trek and the like as well. But I know that a lot of you, even though it's difficult to get clicks on this stuff, I have to clickbait it somehow, and I'll try to figure out how to do that after I record this video. But I know you like actually hearing my episode reviews of classic Trek and the like. I started out this channel originally going through Deep Space Nine, and I did every episode, but then I got tired, because I didn't want to have to record after every single episode. So I got about, I think, halfway through season 1, maybe closer to all the way through season 1, before continuing. And now we're on The Adversary. My wife is watching this for the first time. It's nice watching her watch this for the first time. And she has a pretty thumbs up review of season 3, episode 26. And I've watched this again for the upteenth time, and it still holds up. And I'm so excited. Let's talk about The Adversary and how it changed Star Trek right here. Please hit the like, subscribe button to join me as we talk about all things Star Trek. I am a science fiction writer myself. My name's John Delarose. And if you like classic Trek, if you like what was going on in DS9, Next Generation, and Voyager specifically, you'll really love My Valiant Frontiers. This is a novel trilogy that is all about exploring the universe. It's about great heroes, good characters. You're really going to love this. Check it out, guys. Support our channel. It's in the description below. Grab the trilogy today. Get the ebooks and help us with this crowdfund. We're getting close to 100 backers, and I really appreciate you all for being here. So yes, this is The Adversary. So a Federation ambassador shows up, and I remember being a kid watching this for the first time and watching Captain Sisko get his rank pip put on him and become a captain. And you're sitting there the whole time, and you're like, why wasn't he a captain this whole time? And it was a wonderful moment. You just cheered for this for Captain Sisko. And it set the tone that this guy is the guy in charge now. And it was pretty great. And I even remember the lines. Last night I'm watching this and I'm just I see Kira go up to him and be like, so does this mean I can't argue with you now? And he goes, just means I'm always right. I mean, those lines stick with you because those are nice character moments where, they show sort of their warmth for each other and jokingness for each other and the like. Now, this ambassador Krasinski shows up and tells them that there's a bunch of tensions on the Zenkathi border. And I don't think the Zenkathi have ever been mentioned before this season. I didn't know that they existed. Let me look this up because maybe they were the Zenkathi ever mentioned before the end of DS9 Season 3? Here we go. Thanks, AI, for being able to look this up real quick. The Adversary was the first episode they were ever mentioned. So that was it. And they did not. So this is a big deal that could destabilize the Alpha Quadrant, and we'd never heard of them before. Interesting. I don't know why they didn't just use the Breen or something like that. That was something we had heard of before. But Star Trek likes to do this. And so they're on their way to this border on the Defiant with the ambassador in tow, who's going to be an observer. And something goes drastically wrong. And I remember, again, as a kid, it was pretty scary. It wasn't scary this time, obviously. But this got wild, and it really just got super crazy. Now, this is your classic bottle episode, if you don't know what that is in terms of Star Trek. In the original series, they did these episodes that were only taking place on the ship in order to save budget for constructing sets. And we actually saw a bunch of new Deep Space Nine sets, or Defiant sets, rather, in this one, which we were not really shown before. So they were building some sets for this. But they really made it clear that they're going to go out on the Defiant. Captain Sisko's now in charge, and we're going to go. And this is going to be a war show more than anything else. So this is really like a bottle episode that was more influential on Star Trek than probably any other bottle episode before it, and it actually changed the course of this because they're not going down to any planets. We're not seeing any sets, and yet this is a thriller action show. And I really think this set the tone for what was going to be First Contact, because First Contact had a lot of action on the ship as well, when, of course, the Borg took over. Spoilers, I guess. But that really, this is like a predecessor to Star Trek going in that direction. Now, I think they overdid it. Now, in the future, after First Contact, it seems like Star Trek decided to make itself into an action show rather than a sort of a heady science show that it was in The Next Generation. They decided that was was not going to get the mainstream appeal as much, and that then influenced things like Kurtzman's Star Trek, where it was just nonsensical action and it went way over the top and didn't have anything to do with science and science fiction really beyond that. And so that's really sad that it set it off in that direction. But when it's done here and done right, there is a balance that you could strike, and I think Deep Space Nine hit that very well right here with The Adversary. So they go out there, and there's these like little glow sticks that are in the Defiance machinery, and they are plugging themselves in, and there's force fields. O'Brien can't get off it, and they learn that there's a shapeshifter on board, and that it was Admiral Krasinski who did that, or Ambassador rather. And then they go on a hunt for the shapeshifter, and who's the shapeshifter? And this is the first real beginning of like the Dominions, the big threat, and they're here. It's not like this distant threat that they've been setting up for the last couple of seasons. So again, it did just change the whole dynamic of Star Trek again, and it really, this is the pivot point. And I think I'm going to do a video on how to get people into Deep Space Nine, because I made my wife watch all of seasons 1 and 2, and she wasn't into it. She was like, I really prefer The Next Generation. I'm like, I know, just trust me. And into season 3, she's like, yeah, it's pretty good. She actually prefers it to Voyager now, as we're watching them in tandem. Just like they were coming out, and it really, there wasn't a point where it was like about halfway through the season of season 3, she started really preferring Deep Space Nine, and the thought of The Next Generation kind of faded. And I think a lot of people felt that way here, but with this episode, this is really where it goes full bore from here on out, and it's really suspenseful. The suspense is top notch. The action is top notch. There's a couple repetitive scenes. So when they're on the bridge and they're looking for the particles, and they find out that the ambassador is a changeling to begin with, they do this scan of everybody, and they scan Sisko, then they scan Kira, who volunteers for it, and they actually repeat that scene when they're actually taking the blood later for the changelings. So it is a repetitive scene. It's like, they really did just repeat a scene, which is kind of rough on that standpoint. But that's like a minor complaint, because, like I said, it is so suspenseful throughout the whole thing. It's really good. When Julian especially gets taken over by the changeling, and you see him, that he manipulated the results, and that actually it was a big twist on that, was excellent. Now, naturally, there was the other big thing that they have built up before this. No changeling has ever harmed another. They actually stated that twice in Deep Space Nine prior to this, which actually like reinforced that in your head, that it was a very important plot point. And when they did it here, it was a big deal, because Odo actually has this fight with the changeling in here, and the changeling actually like attacks Odo. So I mean, I guess he harmed him to a small degree, but he's trying to get him to link with him and leave with him. So it's technically not harming, I guess. And then Odo just like throws him into the warp core, which the force field's down, and it just like torches him and electrocutes the changeling, and then he falls into dust. But he whispers something to Odo, which is very foreboding, and what a cool season finale. If you guys remember waiting for months after hearing this line, where he says, hey, it's too late, we're everywhere. And you know these changelings are everywhere, and anybody could be a changeling. What a ending. Oh my gosh. And then having to wait for season 4, which honestly I know even gets better, is a big deal. So this is a 10 out of 10 episode. This changed Star Trek forever. It is a great bottle episode, because they showed that you can just sit on the ship, not even have any outside. There was no outside the Defiant fights or anything. And actually just have an internal episode of like a mystery and the like, and have it be so suspenseful and so impactful. What a great episode. This is the peak of Deep Space Nine beginning. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed this mini review. And of course, I'm a sci-fi writer myself. If you like my thoughts on storytelling, check this out. It's in the description below. Appreciate you being here. We'll be back.